helped to make it great. I met some of the members who are part of that neighborhood watch group as well, and they're doing some good things.
Yeah.
Are you still on the tree of beautification advisory?
I'm still on. I'm the former chair emeritus of the board, and I'm still on the board representing Zone 2, and I'm also the chair of the Halifax Heritage Byway Project, which is a national scenic byway project.
And we want to talk some about that too, Chris. I'm glad you mentioned that, because we really and truly want to give people a kind of a heads up on where that is. And maybe it's nowhere, but I do want us to talk about it for sure, because people need to know, and they need to, if there's an opportunity to get involved, they need to get involved. Okay? Now, I was telling Pastor Edwards that on Facebook, and there are a lot of people who have the pros and cons about Facebook. He doesn't particularly like it, but on Facebook, they've had something that has been going on for, I would say, for a few weeks now, and it's where individuals are actually talking about, you know, I was raised in Daytona Beach, and I remember when. And Pastor Larry, of course, was raised in Daytona Beach, and he remembers when things were a little bit different from the way they are now. But he also remembers not just the bad things, but he also remembers some of the good stuff that used to go on in this city as well. And there are some who talk about the fact that we need to, you know, go back to the days of glory for the city. We definitely need to do that in terms of the bustling businesses that were going on what was then 2nd Avenue, now Mary McLeod Bethune Boulevard, and get everybody working together in really kind of bringing back those successes for the businesses that are there. And I know that I think Chris has seen this, and I know I got an opportunity to see it too, the Midtown plan that is being, they're talking about it maybe going to come into fruition in 50 years. I would hope that that can be speeded up to a much shorter time than that.
That's the family plan, correct?
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. And we call it the family plan because a professor there who deals in planning and related type issues, he and his students actually took this on as a project and came up with some excellent concepts and ideas with input, of course, through forums and workshopping and the like from various citizens who were attending it. And, you know, everybody may not buy into all of it, but there's a lot of good stuff there, and it's something that we really need to, and the city really needs to embrace. Okay, let me start then with Pastor Edwards. Larry. He and I are on this new diet, by the way, one that has been provided to us by our chiropractor. And it's been working great so far because he's lost a few pounds and I've lost a few pounds, and we're on this, let's see, we're really challenging each other to see who can lose it the quickest. And then we're going to challenge each other to see who can keep it off the longest, Chris. That's the important thing. But Pastor Edwards, you and your family, you were born here in Daytona Beach, Florida, and you've lived here since you were probably even a sparkle in your mom and dad's eyes, you know. What are the things that you recall that were really some good stuff that was going on in Daytona Beach back when? And we know you're a little over 50. You know, he needs to admit that too. But but half a century ago, you know, what were some good things that you remember that were going on in Daytona Beach?
Well, coming up, I remember that the black businesses, or African-American businesses at that time, had good businesses. I'll try to go down the streets and bring them around. For instance, Daun Elementary was the school that educated the African-American youth. There were no other schools. I'm sorry, there were 13. But that was a school where teachers took pride. I went there from 1st to 6th grade until integration, and we were shipped over to Volusia Elementary School. One of the other positive things, they had their own cab service, 2nd Avenue cab, quite successful on 2nd Avenue. We had Thompson Funeral Home and Gaines Funeral Home, who had their own ambulance service. If there was a call in the black community, Thompson or Gaines or Brown Funeral Home would be the one that would answer the call. also remember Dugan's Restaurant, which
Mhm.
has been a long time. There was a barbecue pit on the east side of, east side of the gymnasium, which was a African-American owned barbecue pit.
Where was Dugan's?
Uh,
Where was Dugan's restaurant?
Dugan's was at Second and MLK.
Okay.
And Dugan's sat on the east side of the street. The barbecue place was on the other side of the street, same side, Cookman's Gym Zone. Also, they had the Ritz Theater. It's a black theater owned and operated for blacks to go to their own movie theater. We had the Wiggins Hotel, which was my pastor as a kid, Reverend Curtis Wiggins.
Oh, he owned the hotel?
He owned the hotel.
Ah.
It was, well, him and his family, I would say, but it was, and that was called the Wiggins Hotel. They had some of the positive things about the Second Avenue that businesses were striving there. You had mom and dad pop store. You had they had a store right across from Bonner Elementary called Arthur's Store. It was just a little mom and pop store, but then Mr. Arthur was always blind. Matter of fact, we used to go there and try to give him a nickel and tell him it was a quarter, give him a change, give him more cookies. And he just filled the coins, Arthur's Store. And he was very respected in the community, especially by the kids, because we went there every day after school and before school. You had, as I say, the cab service, Second Avenue Cab, which was located at Second Avenue and Rose Street. You had Thompson Funeral Home, which is in the same location, so it's Gainer's. Graham's Funeral Home was at MLK, just north of Orange Avenue.
And Thompson's been there for over 65 years.
That's correct. We used to play games at the funeral home. So. But y'all talked about the stadium. That was called the Municipal Stadium. It was just right across the street from.
Almost Daytona State College.
That's correct.
Yeah.
Also in New Smyrna Beach, we had a Daytona resident that owned a business on the boardwalk in New Smyrna. Mr. Rivers, he was a fisher. He even had a deep sea fishing boat that he took out on. Mr. Rivers and Ms. Rivers have passed away now. However, his kids are still living. And he was very successful, and he owns apartments in there. The Mount Carmel Apartments that's still standing was put up during urban renewal. That came up in the church, Mount Carmel Baptist Church. I was a member of that church at the time. Took on the program to help senior citizens have a place to stay. And I think it took them 10 years, and then they would be the owners of the property, which they did take over. And they still have, not to my understanding. Trustees of that church, they're still running Mount Carmel Apartments. I think things changed after integration because we were bused out of the community. I was happy at Bonner Elementary, but they bused me to Volusia Elementary, which is now where the Performing Arts building stand. That was my old elementary school, Volusia Elementary School. Then I went to Mainland Junior High, which Mainland Junior High is down on Bay Street, where the what you call the building, Stanley?
Oh, the News Journal Center?
No.
Or?
Before the Bay Street.
Bay Street.
It would be probably the DCF building.
That's what it is, the DCF building.
Okay.
That was where Mainland Junior High stood.
Okay, so it's further.
Then on B Street, they had, and doing integrations, we were not allowed to, we had to, for instance, the beaches. We could not go to the beaches. And when we went to the beaches, I think the beaches were integrated in 1966 and 67. Charles Cherry led a march across the Main Street Bridge, which integrated the beach. And then after the beach was integrated, we had a curfew, and we had to be back across the bridge. And those times they had the wooden bridges that you lined up.
Okay, crime down.
Right.
I have a question. Was there a black beach before desegregation here?
Yes, New Smyrna Beach.
New Smyrna Beach.
Okay.
Yeah, that's where all
And,
that.
and that was not by, we didn't have any choice. We wasn't allowed. I used to ask my dad, why do we have to go all the way to New Smyrna Beach when the beach is right across the bridge?
Right.
And so they had a movie there on Beach Street. It was called the Daytona Theater. I remember Steak and Shake on Volusia Avenue, which blacks had to be served at the side window. Krispy Kreme served at the side window. Dairy Farm was where Krispy Kreme Farm is now.